Hi, it's Bowman here. Welcome to my video lesson for The Optimist by Cory Wong, which is probably the most requested track I've had. So, finally got round to doing it. I am sorry it's taken me so long, but hopefully it's worth the wait. I'm also excited to say that for this track I've collaborated again with the Loop Connection and we've done our own cover of this song. Please check out the full version on their channel via the link below. I even get to do my own guitar solo, which was a lot of fun. Let's have a quick listen. So it was great to work with those guys again. Hopefully we will do more collaborations in the future. Please do check out the full video on their site. So in this version I will be sticking mostly to the studio version. The solo that we're going to cover is the original solo on the Optimist album, which Cory did. He's done so many live versions of it, so there is a section in the video where I'll take you through some of the licks that he puts in. Good news is that for the majority of the song it's not too difficult to play and there is a great solo. One of my favourite solos of Cory so far. So I'm quite optimistic that you're going to enjoy this video and have a lot of fun. Apologies for the pun. It's terrible really. I should know better. Okay, if you do enjoy the video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell. You may have noticed that I've started getting some adverts on my channel. I've finally hit that threshold where I can monetize the channel. I know these adverts can be a pain, so I do apologise for that, but it does allow me to make a tiny bit of money from doing this. And as you know, I'm doing all this for free, so any bit of cash that I can earn from it is very helpful. Hopefully it doesn't take away from your enjoyment of the video. It'd be great to have you follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Again, there are links below. Also a link to a donation page. Okay, let's zoom in and we'll get started with the lesson. Okay, so for this track we are in the key of C major. So the intro starts off with a little chord progression. Essentially what we're playing here, C major to F major, D major, back to C major, and an E major to an A flat minor 7. But if we have a look at how Cory's playing this, the first chord, think of your C major chord here at the 5th fret, your A shape moved up. We're actually playing it with an E in the bass, so it's a C over an E. So an E is the major third, so we've got that in the bass. So 7th fret on your E string, and then 5th fret on your D and G strings to an F major chord. So this is your C shape, up here at the 5th fret. So 8th fret on your A string, 7th fret on your D, 5th fret on your G, and 6th fret on your B string. So that gives you a nice little walk up from the bass. So instead of going, you've got that. So in the studio version the guitar's quite quiet at this point, but if you listen to the live versions, mostly I've been listening to the live in the Lido deck version. There's no horns on that, so you can really hear what the guitar's playing. So we've got that C over E to F, and then we're going to move up to a D major chord with an F sharp in the bass. Same shape that we had here, up 2 frets. So 9th fret on your A, and then 7th fret on your D and G to a C chord here. 8th, 10th, 10th, 9th, 8th. So that part. For this C chord, Cory doesn't really play the bass C there. Starting off in the A string. So what you've got, the bass line moving up. Kind of moving up in that way, so. Nice little progression moving up through the chords. So I'm playing that pretty straight there. When you actually hear Cory playing it live, he's very often sliding in into those chords, so moving, sliding in the 3rd fret on your A up to the 7th fret, and then sliding up 9th, that D chord. And you can even funk it up a bit. Give it a bit of rhythm. The transcription is very plain, but have a listen to Cory playing it live and come up with some funky versions of it. And then we go to this chord, which is an E major over a G sharp. So again, we are using this where you have the major third in the bass. So the G sharp itself is on the bottom string here, on your 4th fret, and this E, if you think of your E chord here, your D chord moved up 2 frets. Okay, so 4th fret on your bottom E, 2nd fret on your D string, 4th fret on your G string, and 5th fret on your B string. So this one's a bit awkward to finger. The 2nd finger, 1st, 3rd and 4th. That's pretty much the only way you can play that. And then we'll move into an A minor 7, but we're not playing the full chords. So think of your A minor here, take off this 7th fret to the 5th fret on your D string, A minor 7, but we're not playing the full chord. Again, not playing the A string, so we're playing the bottom A, 5th fret, D string, 5th fret, G string, 5th fret, and if you can, also add the 5th fret on your B string. So we got that whole progression. C to the F, D to the C, the E, to the A minor 7. Again, that bass line just keeps on moving up. So E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, which is the G sharp we've got down here, we'll just put it down the octave, to the A. Which gives a nice feel to the progression. We then have a little lick that goes into the next section, and Cory does this different every time. He does it different on some of the live versions. The one that I've got in the transcription here to start with is again from the live at the Lido deck, but at the end we will go through all the other various versions that I've heard on live recordings and the original studio recording. Click the direction button below and you can jump forward to those, but otherwise I'll go through the track in order and we'll get to those at the end. So the first time sounds a bit like this. It's a double stop lick using the C major pentatonic, which is exactly the same as the A minor pentatonic. So if you know your A minor pentatonic, you also know your C major pentatonic. Cory's adding double stops here. When you see Cory playing this, he's actually playing all downstrokes on this particular part. Like that. And it gives it that kind of really staccato kind of feel. So we're starting off with a scratch, and then 7th fret on your A and D strings, down to 5th fret, back up to the 7th fret, and then 5th fret on your D and G, to 7th fret on your D and G. So it starts. Easiest way to finger this, because it is quite fast, is probably barring those, instead of trying to put your fingers on them. Next part, 5th fret on your G and B strings, 7th and 6th fret, to the 9th and 8th frets. And then you're going to move over your 2nd finger, add that top C on your 8th fret of your E string. And then back down again. So far slowly. So you can hear I'm palm muting quite a bit and I'm keeping it quite staccato, especially when you're playing it fast, otherwise it can sound very muddled. And then we're finishing off with the 7th fret on your D and G, down to the 5th fret, back up to the 7th fret. So the whole lick slowly. Slowly, it's not too difficult to play. When you try and play it at speed, it's not easy, so take it slowly and build it up. But it's a really cool little lick. Basically, it's just a pentatonic lick. But he's playing 2 notes. Just to make it sound interesting. It's something Cory does quite a lot, as we've seen in some of the other transcriptions. Okay, and then it goes into this part. Which kind of takes you into the verse section. So this is 6th fret on your B string, 5th fret on your B string, 7th fret on your G, back up to the 5th fret. So, and exactly the same again. So melodically, quite simple. Just got to get that rhythm again. It's quite snappy, it's quite staccato. Make sure you're putting those rests in. The other thing Cory does a lot is quite a bit of vibrato on that 7th fret. Makes it sing out a bit. And then we have some octaves. So G. So we're playing 2 Gs. One on the 5th fret of your D string, other on the 8th fret of your B string. And you're muting the string in between. We've got a dotted 8th note, and then 16th note, a couple of scratches, a couple more octaves, and then 4 scratches. So very important to get those scratches in as it is through a lot of this track. The scratches are very important to get that kind of percussive rhythm going. And then we finish off that bar with 5th fret on your D string, 7th fret, and then 5th fret on your G. So those 2 bars slowly. Like that, and then we go into the main melody. Again, the main melody part is relatively simple. What is important is the rhythm and also the kind of the scratching that we're putting in. So it starts off like that, all based around that C major pentatonic. We're starting off with a slide up from the 7th fret on your G string to the 9th fret, and then hitting the 8th fret on your B string. 4 scratches. Now these scratches, when you listen to him playing it live, they really do come out, so it's really getting that rhythm. So it's really important to get that scratching rhythm going through this. And then the next part, 7th, hammer on from the 7th fret to the 9th fret, and back to the 7th fret on your G string. And 4 more scratches. So that first bar. 5th fret to the 7th fret on your G string. Back to the 5th fret. You hold that for a little while, bit of vibrato, a couple of scratches, and then we repeat that. 5th fret, 7th fret on your D, 5th fret on your G. So the full 2 bars, slowly. And then the next bar starts the same. But this time we're going to go slide up from your 8th fret on your B, up to the 9th fret on your B, to the 9th fret on your G, 4 scratches, and then we finish the same way. So what this is doing is echoing the chords. At this point we're going from C major to E major to an F, simplistically put. So we're sliding up here echo that E major chord. So that's kind of the melody. It's fairly simple, and it just repeats a couple of times. So the second time it repeats, after we do the, we move into that section. Very simple melodically, but the rhythm you need to be careful of. So it's 7th fret on your D string, to 5th fret on your G, a rest, and then 7th fret and 5th fret again. So back to the 7th fret. And then hammer on your G string, 5th to the 7th, back to the 5th, and a couple of scratches. So that bar repeats. Repeats again. But this time, from that 5th fret, we're going to slide all the way up to the 12th fret. And do that. So again, it's some octaves to finish off this verse part. So sliding up from the 5th fret on your G, up to the 12th fret on your G, and then hitting the 15th fret on your top E. And going between the two. So rhythm wise, you've got to watch those rests. Rest, rest, rest. Slide back down. And repeat. Second time just does it 3 times. So that is pretty much it for the main melody. Okay, so the next part is kind of just keyboards on its own, but I have actually tabbed out what they are doing in quite a simplistic way, so in case you wanted to play along with it. If you're just playing this on your own, you don't want to sit there quietly for a few minutes, so why not learn this kind of like little riff? Sounds pretty good. So I kind of finger pick this part. It's the first part. So I'm basically doing this again. We're going from the C major to the F, like we did in the beginning. So we're playing that chord, 7th fret on your A, 5th fret on your D, G and B. Keep that ringing through, and then hit the 5th fret on your B string, and then 7th fret on your G string. Then we're going to move to that F. And just pick out those notes. So initially I'm playing the 8th and 7th frets and the top 6th fret on your B string, and then plucking out the 5th and 7th frets on your G and D strings. That bar. And the next bar goes like this. So 5th fret, 6th fret and 7th frets on your A, D and G strings, and then picking out the 7th fret on your G, 5th fret on your B, 6th fret on your B, and then back to that original C chord, picking it out. And then we're going to move to a D major, to a D minor, for the next bar. Here, 5th fret on your A string, 4th fret on your D, 7th fret on your G. This bar is not quite so easy to finger, and then we take off 7th fret to the 5th fret on your G, to the 7th fret on your D string. And we're going to go D minor. This bit is a bit of a stretch. So bottom note stays the same, but we drop down to the 3rd fret on the D string, keeping that 7th fret on your G, and then 5th fret on your G, 3rd fret on your D, up to the 7th fret. So and then we've got a little pickup at the end, 3rd fret to the 5th fret on your bottom E, mimicking what the bass is playing at this point. So then we have 3rd fret on your A and D strings, and then 5th fret on your G string. So we've gone 5th fret, 3rd fret, 5th fret on your G and B strings, to 5th fret on your A, 3rd fret on your D, 3rd fret on your B string. So we go. And 3rd fret and the 5th fret on your A string, back in, and kind of repeats. So if you want to learn that, kind of mimics the keyboard part, sounds quite nice. Second time round, what Cory's actually doing live is he's doing some kind of volume swells to mimic the pedal steel guitar that is on the original recording. And he's kind of starting on the, worry about the volume in a minute, starts on the 12th fret on your B string, down to the 10th, to the 9th, to the 8th, to the 7th. So the way he's doing it, you start with your volume, if you haven't done this before, you start with your volume down on your guitar, play it and turn the volume up to get that kind of swelling sound. And then he ends up with this chord here, which is 5th fret on your A, 6th fret on your D, 5th fret on your G, 6th fret on your B string. So 5, 6, 5, 6, and you slide it all the way up an octave, up to the 17th, 18th, 17th and 18th frets. So that is in the tablature. You see him live, he's kind of giving it a little bit of some gentle strumming there just to encourage it, a bit of vibrato. Okay, and then the whole thing repeats. So we go back to the... And then on the live on the Lido deck version, we have this lick. Which is again, it's the double stops, the downstrokes, the muting, still using that C major pentatonic. So we're starting off here, 13th fret, 12th fret, top part of your C major triad up here, on your top two strings, down to the 10th fret, down to the 8th fret, all on your B and E strings, and then on your all on your G and B strings, you go 10, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, slowly. Finishing off with on your D and G strings, 7, 5, 7, and then 2 5th frets on your G and B, back to the 7th fret and the 5th fret on your D and G strings. So just like that. And again, take it slowly and we'll build it up to speed. And we go back through the whole melody section. And then we go into the kind of the bridge before the solo. So what we're doing here, and you C major chord again, up here, so all bar across on your 17th fret on your D, G and B strings. And then you just alternate and you're adding the 19th and 16th frets. So kind of move into that F. And rhythm wise, so you hammer on, couple of scratches, hammer on, couple of scratches. So that bit happens 4 times, and then a hammer on, couple of scratches, hammer on, and then it all repeats. So play along with it to get the rhythm, but you're looking for that. So in the original recording, it's actually the piano that's playing that. If you listen to the live recordings, Cory's playing it on the guitar, and it sounds pretty cool. And then we go into the solo section. I'm moving to my bridge pickup because I like that for solos. It sounds better on this guitar. I think Cory stays where he is, but it starts off with his run-up. Again, most of the solo is based around that C major pentatonic or your A minor pentatonic. The chord progression under it is that C major, E major to F. Chords are slightly extended, but essentially that's what he's doing. So occasionally we are putting in a G sharp for that E. You'll see during the solo. Starts off on your 3rd fret of your bottom E to the 5th fret. 3rd fret on your A string, 5th fret, slide up to the 7th fret, 5th fret on your D string, 7th fret on your D string, 5th fret on your G. It's basically walking up the pentatonic scale. Actually, isn't the rhythm of it? I think the beginning of it, it's maybe a bit of a rest and some triplets going on there. I've just put it out as straight 16th notes, but I think it's more like that rather than. So have a listen. Second half of the bar, keep on going up. 7th fret on your G, up to the 9th fret. 8th fret on your B, 10th fret on your B, 8th fret on your E, 8th fret on your top E, then back down 10, 8, 9. So slowly. Great little pentatonic lick to get you into the solo. Again, fingering wise, I've tried to take this from various videos I've seen of Cory playing the solo. So the next part, we're going to slide up to the 13th fret on your B string, to that C. So on your B string, 13th fret, 10th fret, 8th fret, 10th fret. And then you're going to slide up to the 15th fret, then 13th fret, 14th fret on G string, back to the 13th fret on your B string. So that first bar, and then we're going to bend up that 15th fret, full tone, and hit the 15th fret on your top E string. Kind of typical blues lick. And then back down. So 3 times. And then bend up and down on just on the 15th fret. The next bar back to the 13th fret. So you start 13th fret on your B, 15th, 17th, 12th, and then 12, 13, 15. So we've gone and then we'll get a little run up. It's just kind of around this F chord. So 14, 13, 14 on your G string, 13, 12, 13 on your B string, to 13th fret on your top E string. And then back down 12, 10, 8 on your top E, and back to the 8th on your B string. So it's that 8th fret a few times, and there's a bit of an open string clash going on in there. The next part goes so we're going to slide up from the 7th fret to the 9th fret, and then hit the 8th fret on our B and G strings. So we're kind of sliding up into that C chord. And then 7th fret on your G string, you kind of bend it up just a little bit, half a tone, and then release it, and then down to the 5th fret. Kind of bluesy. Sliding up, finishing up on the 5th fret. So slowly that bar, like that, and then the next bar carries on the same kind of themes. You start off that half tone bend on the 7th fret on your G string, bend it down to the 7th fret, 5th fret, and then hit the 7th fret on your D string, back to the 5th fret. The whole thing kind of sounds a bit like that. And we're going to jump down to your 7th and 8th frets on your A string. We're going to go into this octave section. So kind of moving up the melody here, up the neck, up the scale, starting off 10th fret on your A, 12th fret. All of this is kind of like 16th note strumming. To the 11th and 13th frets, and then to the 12th and 14th frets. A few scratches on the end. So that bit sounds like. Sounds pretty cool. It's kind of building up the tension. And we go into the next section, which I'm not going to go through detail. There's not a lot to it. Bending up the 15th fret on your G string, up a whole tone to the C, and then put in the 13th fret. So bend up, hitting that 13th fret a couple of times. Have a look at the tablature and have a listen to him playing it, just to get the rhythm and the timing of that. He's hitting the 13th fret, sometimes just a couple of times, sometimes more, but it's all basically around that kind of idea. Ending up with that, so where we bend up the 15th fret 3 times, and then 15, 14, 12 on the G string. It's quite a frantic passage that. It builds up with the octaves and then so have a play along with the record to get that. But it's a good practice for your bending. And then we go into a bit of an arpeggio section, which is pretty cool. First bar, which sounds like this. Sounds like that. So basically we're going up the C major arpeggio, back down to E dominant 7 arpeggio. So starting off, 14th fret on your D, 12th fret on your G, 13th fret on your B, and 12th fret on your top E. Basically C major chord. Add the 15th fret, and then back down again. So and we're jumping to this E major, so we're going to put the G sharp in. 16th fret on your top E string, 12th fret, 12th fret on your B, 13th fret on your G string, 14, 10 on your D string, to the 14th fret on your A string. So that bar, the rest on the first beat, and you slide in. bar, kind of around the F chord, F major 7. It sounds like this. So if you think of your F major 7, the F chord down here, play the top open string instead. First fret, F major 7, the octave, it's kind of that arpeggio that we're spelling out here. So the 11th fret, 12th fret, 15th fret on your A string, 14th fret on your D, 15th fret on your D, 14, 13, 12, up to your top E, 13, 12, back down again, to the 15th fret, 14, 13, 12, back up. So, if we play those two bars together, quite a cool little arpeggio lick. And then to finish the solo, I'm going to move up 15th fret, 16th fret, 17th fret on the top E, up to the 19th fret. Let's slightly bend that up half a tone to the C. It's kind of mimicking the we did down here. Octave, and then we're back into the section. Okay, so that's the solo. I've gone through it relatively quickly. Have a rewind, have a listen to the Guitar Pro with tablature playthrough at the end, and Cory's original recording on the album. It's a great little solo, some cool licks in there that you can reapply to your own playing. Okay, the last section, I've actually added what Cory's playing in the live versions. So instead of just doing the chords, he's now going, he's adding what the bass and the keyboards are also playing. Sounds pretty cool. So we've got the chords to start with, same as doing before, C to the F, and then we're going to go 5th fret on your D string, to the 7th fret to the 5th fret on your G. Second part we're going to bend up on the 7th fret of your G string, and then we do the, actually spelling the chord out this time, so bottom fret, bottom string, D string, and then the top 2, and then the G and the B string, that A major chord, to the A minor, and the final lick I've got in here, final version of the lick, again from the live on the Lido deck version. So starting on the 8th fret of your B string, slide up the 10th fret, back down to the 8th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret on your G, back to the 5th fret on your B string, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, and then we're going to move up. The final time the melody, instead of going, we're actually going to move up. Play it a bit up there. So we can slide up to the 10th fret, 9th fret, 7th fret to kind of bend it up half a tone, release it, and then back to the 9th fret. All 10, 9, 7 on the G string, and then slide up to the 12th fret and hit the octaves. Bit of a different ending to what we've done earlier in the song, but it sounds cool. Okay, quickly go through some of the other variations of that lick, which kind of goes from the intro into the verse section. So we're going to start off, these are the ones from the original recording. This is from the original album recording. First time he plays that on that recording. So starting off the 7th and 8th frets on your G and B, slide up to the 9th and 10th, and back down. And then pull off to the 5th fret, then 7, 5, 7 on your D string, and then 5th frets on your D and G, at the 7th fret. So it's quite a simple one. Sounds cool. Here's the second version that he does. in that original recording. It's the second time through in that original recording. So starting off 13th and the 12th, 10th fret on your top two strings, and then 5th fret on the top two strings, slide down to the 3rd fret and back up, but adding that G string. And that little bend with the 7th fret, back to the 5th fret on your G string. Like that. Sounds pretty good. Okay, the next one is the final version on the original recording, so the end of the song. Goes like that. Starting as we did on the other one, 7th and 8th frets, to 10th and 9th, back, 5th fret, 7th fret on your D and G, 5th fret, jump across, 5th fret on your G and B, 7th fret on your D and G, down to the 5th fret, 7th fret on your A and D strings, 5th fret, 7th fret, back up to the 5th and the 7th on your D and G. Like that. And then he actually ends the song slightly differently. He's putting a harmony in of the melody that the piano's playing. Sounds a bit different. So 12th fret, 10th fret, 9th fret, 10th fret. Next version I've heard him playing on a few of the live recordings. Similar to the ideas that we've had before, but a bit simpler. We're actually playing each one twice. So we're starting off 13th and 12th frets twice, 10th frets, 8th fret, 10th fret on your G and B, 9, 8, 7, 6, to 5, 5. It's maybe a good one to start with if you're struggling with some of these double stops. And the final one, I think this is the one he plays on the Dave Koz recording. So Dave's playing the kind of unison thing at the end. Basically walking down the C major pentatonic. So 8-5, 8-5, 7-5, 7-5, 7-5, 3, 5, 7, 5. And they're all the variations that I could find. I'm sure there's other ones out there. But it's a good idea to learn them all, mix them up, play with them. There's some cool licks in there that you can reapply. Okay, I hope you found that useful. Please feel free to flick back and check on things using the buttons below. I'm now going to show you the Guitar Pro playthrough of the tablature, so you can use that as well when you're learning it. Hope you've enjoyed the lesson, and we'll see you again soon with some more videos. Thank you.